this is Noreen from Joy of Cards, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Yay! Today's video is Paper Pumpkin, and it is the January 2023 Key to My Heart. Now, I did not do my December Paper Pumpkin. Good things come in small packages. It's still even in the cellophane. I even had to like cover up my address here. So if you're interested, I'm going to put this on my joyofcards.com site, and there's a little shop icon. So you hit shop and then shop Joy of Cards, and this will be in retired items. But this is for obviously for Valentine's Day. And what we've got is we've got 9 envelopes here, and they're all the same little background in the envelope. And then we have 9 fronts. So we have these 2 and this one, and it looks like a keyhole. This can come out like this. And then we've got some vellum. There's 3 sheets of vellum here, and there's a big circle and a couple of sentiment tags. And here's 3 sheets of the lock and keys. And then we've got some tags, big tags and little tags. Here are the sentiments here, are the stamps right here. So we've got, you hold the key to my heart, love is a key to my Valentine, I love you, there's some hearts, a lock and a key, a little circle with squigglies, and a keyhole. The color is Fresh Freesia, yay! And you know what? I keep these in a box, just like this, and I'll put the link to get these boxes. These are great. I have 2. This is the one that I put all my Paper Pumpkin Stampin' Spots in, and these are the ones that I ink up. And it's great because you can see all the names. I just put it in my little cubby here below, and I can really keep track of it. And then we've got some string, and then we've got the little glue dots. Keep these things. These are great because they're thinner than a glue dot, and they really stay on. I use them for lots of stuff. You can even put in like some pretty heavy embellishments, and they'll stay. And then some dimensional. So here is their card. So I'm going to make their cards and then come back, and then I'll do my alternative. So I'll see you in a minute. And here are the cards per the instructions here. Now I'm going to do some alternatives. Now these are very, very simple cards. I'm a little worried about how I'm going to come up with alternatives to this. And they have their alternatives on the back here, one of which this idea with the keyhole is pretty obvious. But the coordinating colors are right here, listed here. Calypso Coral, Fresh Freesia, Mango Melody, and Petal Pink. I'll try not to use a lot that's not from the kit, but I'm allowed shapes and colored cardstock. So anyway, so here's theirs. Now let's go to my alternatives. Back. Okay, before I show you my alternatives, I do want to show you what I do with my Paper Pumpkin kit when I'm done with it. Stampin' Up! Sells these boxes, and they're great. And you can put all your extras. So I've got my stamp set in here, and I've got all the envelopes and all the things that I didn't use, plus all the cards that are made in their kit. And then there's an insert that you can print that you can put inside of the case lining here, and it keeps it all nice. Now, I do sell my used Paper Pumpkin kit because it's got a stamp and it's got everything in here. So go to joyofcards.com, then go to shop, and then shop Joy of Cards, not the Stampin' Up, but, place an order on Stampin' Up too. Anyway, but go to Joy of Cards and go to Retired, and it'll be there. Now, everything there is there except for the little stamping spot, because what I do is I do save the little stamping spots that come with Paper Pumpkins, and I put them in this really cool case. I'll put a link to the case because you can only get this at a particular store, and it's not on Amazon for whatever reason. And this case is awesome, but I do keep them in here, and I use them with my Stamparatus and other things. So this will have all this, and it'll be on my site. And I think without the Stampin' Spot, it's probably $8. But I also have, and I mentioned this before, the December Good Things Come in Small Packages. It even still has the cellophane on it. And what that is boxes with all these sayings on them. So it's a cute kit. Here's the insert for that if you buy the kit on my joyacards.com, like I said, shop Joya Cards under retired, because technically this is retired, and you can buy that there. Now this one is brand new, so it's $20, but whoever buys it, I'll send you the link to print the sheet, and you can get the boxes. I'll put the link for the boxes on my site. So you go to the description of the video and click down on the little arrow and show more and all that stuff, and I'll list everything in my video. And this the link for the boxes for this, also the link for where to get the Stampin' Spot box will all be there as well. Plus the little extras I use in my alternatives. Now to my alternatives. Alternative number 1 is this, and what I did is I just used the stamp, and I usually don't do that. I usually use all these other things, but this is polished pink, just a 5.5 by 4.25, and then the Tahitian Tide, and this top piece is actually white, and I used the blending brushes with the polished pink, and then I stamped the heart in polished pink. This is Bermuda Bay, Tahitian Tide, polished pink, and Parakeet Party, and inside we've got Tahitian Tide and white, and so I thought this was a cute little alternative. So this is, and it doesn't use, other than colored paper and the ink, it doesn't use anything else. So this is alternative. Oh, and I did do Wink of Stella on the little hearts here. So anyway, this is alternative number 1. Here's alternative number 2. Now, also in the description of my video is all the measurements for the cards as well. So don't have to frantically write it down now. Go to the description, do the click down or the show more and all that, and everything pulls up. So this is also polished pink. This is basic white on the shadow. And this, unlike this one, I remembered when I blend, I should use the shimmer white instead of just basic white. It comes out prettier, even though these are 2 different colors. You can't really tell, and really can't tell on a video. But I thought I'd go ahead and blend another one. And the background is in Tahitian Tide, and then polished pink, and then Daffodil Delight are the keys. Now, here, the sentiment tags here is in that big piece that came in the kit. And what I did is I took Give It a Whirl, and believe it or not, Give It a Whirl has so many different dies in it that are really useful. I pull this out a lot. And one of the sentiment tags is this one. And I know it's too big, but what I did is I stamped it on the very end. I cut it out and stamped it on the very end, and then took the die, lined it up, and cut off the extra. So I did that with these. It's really cute. Like I said, the Give It a Whirl has a couple of sentiment tags on it, has stars, clouds, hearts. I mean, it's a very versatile set. So if you're looking for a die set that you'll use a lot, Give It a Whirl is one of them. And then inside, I went ahead and took the other little stamps here with the Tahitian Tide and basic white on the inside because I'm not blending. But anyway, this is card number 2. Here's alternative number 3, and I took their card base. I took the inside of one of the envelopes here. And by the way, this has all the other envelopes. So there are 8 envelopes in this box, and they're actually really pretty envelopes. So I took the inside of the envelope and I cut it down. I put on these festive pearls, the gold ones here. I love these. Something about a small accent is better than a bigger one. So this worked out really well with the gold locks. And just stamped it here. And on the inside, we've got, because I hate white backgrounds, so I put in the fresh Freesia, and then the paper is petal pink and then basic white, and just stamped it. So I thought this was good. And these are on dimensionals here, so it's the sentiment. So this is alternative number 3. Here's alternative number 4. I thought this turned out really well. And see how I took the festive pearls and I made a little heart here. And then I put one of the pastel pearls in the middle there and just accented it. Put this on dimensionals. This is on dimensionals. This is on dimensional. Use the string, which I'm not a string kind of gal, but I used it. And I put this on dimensionals here. I hate the white background, but this was such a cute little spludge, that's a real word, of the the color there, and then just put the I love you in there. And I thought this turned out really cool. Now, these festive pearls were in the mini catalog July to December, but they are not gone. You can still get these on the Stampin' Up! Site. They're in none of the current catalogs, but they're there. And if you go to the description of my video, click on the down arrow and the show more and more and more, and everything will pop up. The part number with a direct link to my Stampin' Up! Site will pull up there. Please order. That's a cool thing. Cool people order. Anyway, so they're still available. So they're still good because I don't generally use anything that's retired in any of my videos, because if you can't get it, what's the point? So, but these are still there. I checked. Of course, I made this card and I went, oh no, this is retired. And then I looked and it's like, nope, still there, so I can still do it. Anyway, so this is alternative number 4. And by the way, they do sell mini dimensionals, and I have mini dimensionals here. So instead of cutting the big ones, they have mini ones on there. So anyway, alternative number 4. Here's alternative number 5, which I thought was going to be my last one. My favorite one is always alternative number 6. But what I did is I took their card base, of course, used the festive pearls because there's a lot of gold here, and snailed, dimensional, these items. So if you ever, like I've been to Paris, and you go across this one particular bridge and they have all the locks on the bridge. It's really cool. Anyway, so I'm trying to, give it kind of a fence kind of look. So what I did is I took the Simply Elegant trim in the gold, and I tied a knot. I made sure there are 3 strings. I tied a knot at the top, and I braided this down. That's why it's so thick, because it would look like, this if it was just a string across, and that doesn't look cool. So I wanted it to look like it's part of a fence. So I braided it across. Now, I had to, of course, line the inside the envelope because you don't want to see the ugly ends of the trim here. So I just took a fresh Freesia, and whenever I do insides here, this is not 4 1/4. This is 4 3/8. So I give a little room for it to be able to fold. But when I went ahead and folded that back, I clipped off the end with the knot, and I took tear tape, and I put a piece of tear tape down on the bottom, pushed it down, and then put a piece of tear tape on top to hold it, because this is pretty sturdy. So I did that and then covered it up with the paper, and it made that really cute little look. I don't know if you can tell very well in a video, but it's really cool how it's braided here. And then on the inside, I just took Melon Mambo and Basic White and did the inside. And of course, I backed this as well because I hate white inside. So this is alternative number 5. This is alternative number 6. Now, I'm worried that the video won't give it any justice, but what I've done here is a couple of different things. Okay, so this is just a fresh Freesia card base. And then I took a piece of Basic White and I stamped it with all the stamps, except whenever you're doing a background like this, like you're trying to make designer series paper almost, is you need one little tiny element to kind of fill in the blank spots. And unfortunately, I already used the keyhole here, but it wasn't quite small enough, and I needed something just a little tiny bit smaller to fill in all the blanks. And what I did is I looked for anything small. So I happened to use Biggest Wish with this one. Unfortunately, all 3 stamps are one stamp, but that's okay. I used just a bunch of Post-it notes and on the areas where it was really tight. So the first thing you do is you work your way down, the biggest element to the smallest one. So I put in all the locks first, and then the keys, and then the hearts, and then the keyholes, and then I had some blank spaces. So when it came to a blank space like here inside of the lock, I could only use 2 out of the 3 because the 3 would be too big. I just put a Post-it note over that third little one so it wouldn't stamp. So I made the DS paper, so that was really cute. And then I took alphabet dies. Now these alphabet dies are awesome. I love anything that has letters or shapes or anything like that. So I took the alphabet dies. And by the way, I have these magnets on my the description of my video. You know, you go to the title, click down, Shimmer, blah, blah, blah. And these magnets are on there. And these are the Stampin' Storage ones. These are the good ones, not the crummy ones, so they don't like fall off. And I've even tried to make my own magnets, and that does not work out well. So, so I took the magnets. Now, what's actually, I'm big fat liar. This is not a fresh Freesia card base. I did it so well, I don't even remember. If you notice, these letters are one of these card bases, okay? And what I did is, and I did it backwards, so I'm going to tell you how I did it, and I'm going to tell you the better way to do it. So what I did, because I don't know what I'm making until it's made. So what I did is I took this card base before the DS paper was down, and I cut the letters out of it. So all of these letters are cut from this pattern right here underneath the paper I made. So I cut out all the letters, and then I was laying them on top, and it's like, oh, it really disappears. Now, I know in a video, it doesn't give it any justice, but they disappeared. So I thought, I'm going to take some foam adhesive sheets. These things are great. There's also a link to these to my Stampin' Up site, so you know, you can place an order, but they're there. And I know most of my people are demonstrators, so I know. So what I did is, after I cut these out, I cut them out. I'd used the dies on the foam adhesive sheets, and then I laid the letters that were already cut out on top. So there's two pieces. So there's a front and a back. It's a double-sided sheet. So I took off the top and then placed the letter on it ever so carefully, and it's really hard to do that. That's why I'm going to tell you the easier way in a second. And then I stuck it on here. So the easy way to do it is, if you take your base, base here, and you take a rectangle stitched frame, and you cut out this pattern in the middle here. And then you take a piece of the foam adhesive sheet in the same size, and you put that paper on top. So you peel it off, put that paper on top, and then die cut it out. You'll save yourself a lot of headaches. But I didn't know I was going to do this until after it was done. So these are on the foam adhesive sheets here, and so they're bumped up. So they have a three-dimensional to them. And then I had to, of course, cover that up. So I took polished pink and I covered up the holes from cutting out the letters in this card base, because this card base is actually this. So I had to cover that up. And like I said, I leave that little space here so the card can fold without, being like this all the time. And then I got fresh Freesia here, Tahitian tie, basic white. I stamped it. So that's card number 6. So here's all my alternatives. And don't forget, I have the used one from making all this on my joyacards.com under shop Joya Cards and Retired. It'll have everything in there except for the Stampin' spot. It's like $8. It's in this nice, really nice case. And the December paper pumpkin that I didn't do because I take the last couple of weeks of December off. This is also on my Joya Cards shop Joya Cards, and under Retired. So, but anyway, that will do it for me. Thanks. Bye.